topic. It's always interesting when we come into a space of reflection, accepting what we cannot change, and knowing that there's greater things out there for us, knowing that there's greater healing. Like, I keep seeing lives or reels of people who saying grief is just here forever, it never goes, and people forget you are what you say. Proverbs 18 verse 21, the reason I love this so much, it is the basis of the work that I do. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat the fruit of it. You will have what you say. And so if you declare that the grief in your life is never going to go away, that is what you will see. But as for me, I declare that the grief will not stay. It's not going to be here forever. It's a process. I'm going through it, but I will get through this. I will get to the other side. I will not have to live with this. It is not just a way of life. Yes, it doesn't mean that I don't miss my son or my brother or other people who passed on, but I recognize that grief is a spirit, and I don't need that in my life. Grief comes with sadness and oppression and other things. Sometimes grief can come with mourning and just things that I don't need or don't want to last, to linger. It's okay for the period it's going through. I'm not saying that as soon as grief comes, you're like, no. But there has to be a point where you say, okay, this is enough. I am going to live the rest of the life that I have. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life mourning the things that I lost, being sad over the things that were taken away. Sometimes we have no control in our lives and the things that have happened to us, but we can control our future. Like, I can control the steps that I take. Like, I can control living a healthy lifestyle through peace, through meditation, through the things that I eat, through exercising. Like, I have control over that. Over how much or how little I sleep, I still have control over that. And I think as a society, we as people need to do better at taking accountability for things that we cannot change. Taking ability for things that we did. Like, we're not perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. And so we can take accountability for things that have gone wrong and say, you know what? My bad. My bad. I messed up in that one. We can take accountability for things that happened to us. Like, you know what? That didn't happen. Like, I didn't do that, but I will take responsibility that A, either I played a role in it, or B, I'm going to heal from it. That I'm not going to let it destroy me. I'm not going to let it take me over. And today I just was thinking about all the things, all the memories, all the traumas, all the pains, all the hurts that I have gone through. And if I didn't release it, I would be carrying it around like a weight, like a backpack. Think of trauma and past memories as like fat. Everybody trying to get rid of the last fat. Everybody trying to get healthy, trying to be lean. And yes, there's a lot of acceptance in the curvy bodies. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the weight of the fat, how heavy it can be. And when we walk around with traumas, when we walk around with hurts that we don't need to, we're carrying all this extra weight that really needs to be released back into the world. Like, we need to just give it over to Jesus and not take it with us. Because the longer that we keep it on us, the more complications it can bring, the more layers it can bring. It can really become hidden within us. Like, there's certain things that can happen and we just like, we say, oh, we're never forgiving that. And then we just forget all about it. And then years later, when things are going wrong or when things aren't lining up and making sense, we're like, why is all this things happening? Well, we use our mouth to declare that we would have never forgiven it. I've said this before. There's nothing that is unforgivable. Everything in this world is forgivable. Everything. Even the most heinous of things is forgivable. Why? Because we don't forgive in our own strength. We forgive with the Spirit of the Lord. We ask God to help us forgive, number one. But number two, forgiveness releases us from the bondage, releases us from being trapped in these memories, trapped in the spaces. Like there's some people who are like, it was just yesterday, and they have it in their minds. They haven't released things. Some people are still being tormented or haunted by the experiences that they went through. And yes, some people go through some really traumatic and drastic things, but there's no reason for us to let it run our lives. There's no reason we have to let it be the center of attention. There's power in releasing. There's power in letting go. There's power in leaving things behind. As you can see, if you are like a traveler, I love to travel. On the airplanes, they're charging you to bring extra weight on. They're like, we just need you to come on here and just pack light. But the more you pack, the more you pay. Literally, the more you pack, the more you gotta pay. You gotta pay to bring that baggage with you. You gotta pay for them to carry that baggage and that load from one destination to the other. And before, it used to be cheaper and people used to just pack more and more and more, right? But now, the way the planes are designed is causing you to really be specific with what you want to bring. Really be intentional about what you need. Not bringing more for this trip, and not underpacking either, that you run into trouble. But it is such, as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, this is actually a really great analogy for how life is. We must be intentional about the things that we want to carry from destination to destination. Because if you're anything like my family, when we go to Jamaica, we bring our suitcases, but then we also have to bring stuff from my grandma too. We got to carry an extra suitcase for her to bring down for her siblings, and it's extra weight. And my dad is always the one who has to struggle and carry it. But it's somebody else's baggage that he's carrying down to bring to somebody else, and it weighs him down. And when I think about life like that, sometimes people throw their baggage onto us. Sometimes they throw us things that happen to them. Like, for example, in the case of like a sexual assault, sometimes it's the baggages that those people were going through. They didn't know how to address it. They didn't know how to unpack it. And so they did things to us, and now that baggage became ours. And now we had no intentions of carrying around this baggage, but because this person didn't know, now we got to carry around their baggage too. And there's a choice, or there's a time when we can say, you know what, I'm not going to take on this baggage. I know you really wanted to give it to me. I know you thought it was the right thing to do. I know you thought, oh, it's going to be great, but it's not great and it's not fun for me, and I refuse to take it. We are just releasing the things that no longer serve us. We're releasing the things that have tried to have control over us. We are releasing the things that has been weighing us down, dragging us down, and causing us to be unhappy, because I have yet to see a time when my dad is super cheerful bringing my grandma's baggage down. Oh, and not just my dad, my sister, anybody who has to bring this extra load. I have yet to see people who are like, yes, I love this extra load, bring it on. No, people are usually upset and they try to put on a good face. They try to be like, okay, it's for a good cause, but many people are just like, I don't want to carry your extra baggage. I barely want to carry my own. And so releasing the baggage, releasing things back to where they need to be, not allowing people to come and drop off their shit at your door and then they're just like leaving and you're just like, what the heck? Like, how did this get here? Like, no. And so when it came to a lot of the trauma and a lot of the memories that I had to release it. I had to rewrite it. I asked God many times that he would just erase it from my memory, that he wouldn't allow me to remember a lot of the things. Now, I had to remember it to write it out for the book. But after the book, I asked him to start erasing some of those horrible things, that it doesn't sit on me, it doesn't weigh on me, it doesn't torment me, and that I can start living and building a life that is happy, that is healthy, and that is what I and God intended for it to be. There is so much power in releasing things. I felt lighter spiritually. I didn't feel this heaviness. I felt like, you know what? That was good. That was good. I didn't realize that I was carrying all that, but now that I do and I've released it, that was good. So I prayed a lot for God to remove it. I also wrote out things. We don't understand the power of writing. We think that writing is just because, like, just to do work, or writing is for school, writing is for exams, but writing is so powerful, especially when it comes to trauma. The thing that happens is sometimes trauma gets lodged in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, in different parts of our bodies. When we write it out, we are acknowledging what happened. We are accepting it. We're not accepting that it's good for us. We're accepting the fact that it happened. When you get cut, you can't look at it and say, well, I just don't accept that. That did not happen to me. You got cut. You accept that it happened. And when you accept that it happened, when I accepted all the things that happened, I was then able to take the necessary steps to apply the type of treatment that I needed. Like, I could look at a cut and I could choose to ignore it, but it would still bleed. Or I could choose to say, you know what? Let me go ahead and put some shea butter on this. Let me go ahead and put a bandage on it. Let me go ahead and clean the wound and make sure it doesn't get infected. Make sure it doesn't ruin or try to take over the rest of my body because I tried to ignore something that was clearly in need of attention. Life is the same way. That when I started to accept things that have happened to me, I started to write it down. I no longer wanted it to live in my mind. I needed it out of my mind. I needed to free up my mind to create space for other things. And so I had to release a lot of things. I had to release a lot of traumas. I had to release and accept that although I did not cause it, in certain circumstances, I could have done better. But in other ones, it really wasn't me. But it doesn't mean that I can't heal from it. That doesn't mean that I just like, well, that had nothing to do with me. That's their fault, and I just put all the blame on them. Yes, they were completely wrong. But my job was to then take it and not let it ruin my life. My job was then take it and say, well, how can I turn this around? How can I be better? How can I not allow it to fool me and to push me into a dark tunnel? Like, how can I really show up and show out for myself? Because at the end of the day, I love myself. I truly do. I truly have a lot of love for myself and all that I've been through. And without this love, I don't care what people say, without a love of self, it is almost impossible to love somebody else. Because I barely knew what I wanted. I barely knew what I needed. I barely knew what I felt like. How was I going to then do that for somebody else? If anything, I would go out there and do too much, overexert myself, push up myself too much. It might have been like just overwhelming for the other person. And the other person leaves, and then I get upset. And I'm like, I gave them my everything. I did all this for them. Why did they leave? Well, I wasn't loving from a place of understanding. I was loving from a place of survival. I was loving from a place of what I saw on TV. I was loving from a place of what I thought love should be, not what it was or what it could have grown into. Grief will change things, muddle things, confuse things a lot. But releasing and accepting and taking possession of the things that we need to, that's the true strength that we hold, and that will keep us moving towards the future. That's the true strength of where we need to be. That's the true strength of like letting go of the memories that have haunted us and take on the memories that make us happy, the memories that strengthen us, the memories that allow us to say thank you, Jesus. Memories of times when we might have done something real stupid that could have caused more harm, but we're like, you know what? I survived that. I survived that. Like, memories aren't horrible. Memories are really good things. We just got to change the memories from being memories that torment us to memories that give us joy, to memories that cause us to have a cheerful spirit, to memories that allow us to enjoy the life. Because we're not put on this earth to be miserable and then die. Like, we really aren't. Like, even in the working hard, even in the 2 jobs, even in the stuff that we do, we still have to find time to enjoy life. It's so sad when I see people who all they do is work, whether entrepreneur or working jobs, but all they do is work. And they're like, we got to work to provide. And they don't get a chance to enjoy the children around them, enjoy the life around them, enjoy the friends. And then they get to a place where they just find themselves lonely. Like, can we talk about how at times I go through periods of just being a complete workaholic and I shut everybody out? And how I've had to learn to balance, how I've had to learn that people's feelings are important, how I've had to learn that it is okay to put things down. Like, the bills will still be there, the work will still be there. Like, it's not, if it doesn't get done today, it is like a dead deal. Like, really, truly. Sometimes I'm stressed about things for it to still be there the next day. Like, I'm like, oh, I have to get it done today or else. Or else what? Or else what? I've put so much pressure on myself to get things done in a timely manner, to make sure that things run a certain way, move a certain way. And all it has done is stress me out in different seasons. I've gone through burnout so many different times. Like, I really had to reconsider what I value in life, how I value things, and how I want to move forward so that I am being effective, so that I am being the amazing human that God has created me to be, that I'm able to share that joyfully with other people, that I'm able to make space for other people, and I don't just push people away because every time they hit me up, I'm like, no, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm hustling. You wouldn't understand. Like, no. Life is to be enjoyed. Even the most challenging parts of life is to be enjoyed, because even in those challenging parts, it's like, well, what was the lesson? What was I supposed to take? Release what doesn't serve me, but what was I supposed to take from it? What matters? And the what matters is good, because when I look at what matters, just like being intentional about the luggage, we carry only the things that have value. We carry only the memories that have value, that are worth something to us. We carry only the weight that we choose to carry. And we deliver the rest. We deliver it wherever it needs to be, wherever it's got to go, but it can't stay here. It can't stay with us. That is the beauty of living a life that has been set free. That is the beauty of living a life that is not bound, that is not shackled, that is not tied down. That is the beauty of living a life outside of what society says, for going against the norm. And it really shouldn't be all that hard. It really shouldn't be all that complex. But honestly, sometimes we as people, myself included, complicate really simple things. Really simple concepts. We're like, it can't be that easy. It has to be harder, because we're taught that life is supposed to be hard. But have you ever looked up the word hard? The word hard means something that's like unmovable, something that takes great force and great effort. Now, I can tell you from living what I used to consider a hard life. It took a lot of force. It took a lot of effort. I don't want that for my life now. I want to live in a life of ease and peace and things run smoothly. Now, that's not without challenges, but I don't consider it hard. I consider it things that can be managed, things that can be overcome, things that can be taught, that I can learn from, things that can be released. Like, there's so many ways that I can live and enjoy a life that is truly the best life. Like, when people get to the end of their lives, they're like, they lived a good life. Like, that's what I want. When I'm 100 odd, I want it to be, I lived a good life. So release it. Everything that does no longer serve you. Everything that is weighing you down. Pack your suitcase with only the important things. And release everything else. It does not serve you in this season or in the next season. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the Lips and Language podcast. My name is Cola. I am so excited that you are here. If anything I said today resonated, then get in touch with me. I have an amazing mentorship program. It is for those who feel misunderstood, overwhelmed, going through grief. It is truly an amazing time. If you want more info, hit my website, lipsandlanguage.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can hit it up on the website or DM me. I have a free gift for you, and I would love to be in contact with you. Whatever you decide, just know that healing, it looks good on you. And I'm so excited that we get to do this journey together. Have a blessed day. And if nobody told you, I will. I love you. Enjoy your day, and we'll talk soon. Peace.